How many times has a financial person or have you heard that you have to plan for your needs? We're going to talk about that in great depth today.
From Philadelphia, the home of the Liberty Bell, Financial Freedom Radio starts now. Here's your host, Raymond Jewell.
Welcome, everybody, to financialfreedomradio.com. I used to say .info, but we have .com, and we've had it for a few years now. And there's a whole neat story behind that that I'll share at some point. But welcome, and I want to thank you all for watching and for listening and downloading and sharing with your friends. We hope you share it with your friends. Please do give them the link, Financial Freedom Radio, and have them listen. Hopefully, they can get some good information from it also. And if you go to financialfreedomradio.com, you can get it, or youtube.com/financial freedom radio, and ring the bell. That way you'll get notified whenever we make uh, the updates and whenever we add new shows. So we got a real interesting topic today, Steve. You're going to love this. How are you to do today,
I'm doing
Steve?
good, sir. How are you today?
Oh, dynamite, man! I feel good. I got my second COVID shot yesterday, and
There you go.
I'm uh, I'm raring to go.
You know, it's so funny you mentioned the financialfreedomradio.info. I've been with you since the beginning when you used to do this show long, long time ago, and I still hear it in my head.
2007.
Welcome to financialfreedomradio.info, not .com, .info. You had such a funny way of
Now it's
delivering that. Now it's .com. You've
now
moved up to the big leagues.
Yeah, welcome to financialfreedomradio.com, not .info.
You remember what you used to say too? You used to open every show with the same quote.
Yep, the mind that opens to a new idea never goes back to its original size. Albert Einstein said that, and that's what we try to achieve with this. And we're going to
Yep.
talk about some great stuff, but um, we're on a different platform. We've had some issues with the computers we were using, so we're using a different method here. So
Yeah,
I
so
hope
it's
it's
it's really
acceptable.
challenging putting this show together when I'm in Delaware and you're in Florida, and we're trying to do it all live. We do it one take, and it gets to be some technical challenges, and sometimes we struggle overcoming them, and we go to a plan B. And you're looking at plan B right now. The
Okay.
information is
Hopefully,
what's important, though, right, Ray?
that's right. Maybe the plan B becomes plan A. Who
There you
knows?
go.
But Steve, you're going to love this because I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he said that he had been instructed to, whenever planning his financial future, to talk about financial needs. And so we had a whole dialogue on that about financial needs and financial wants. And the financial people will want you to address your needs. And when you do that, you put yourself in trouble. And there's a lot of people that are just uh, out living their wealth because they're focused on needs instead of wants.
Right.
And so I want to play you the video of financial needs and versus wants. And Joe, my friend Joe and I have a pretty good discussion, and he explains some things about it, and we talk about it. And I think you're going to find it valuable to hear the dialogue between the two of us and how we're talking about financial needs and wants and what's important to focus on. So let's play that video, Steve, and see what and hear the dialogue. Today we're going to talk about financial needs analysis versus financial wants. And I've got a friend of mine here, and we're having a conversation. And so I thought I would just record this for our show. Uh, my friend's name is Joe Yeager, and he works with us as far as working with clients and bringing them into the process. And so I thought that we were having a conversation about financial needs analysis, and I'd really like to record this because he was talking about something very interesting. So Joe, what I wanted to to mention, and I'm going to repeat myself a little bit, but if I were to ask you what your financial wants are, you would scale down your lifestyle. You would reduce down your lifestyle so that it would just be bare bones. It would be um, it would be just getting by, baseline. And but if I ask you what your wants are up here because your want different than your needs. So needs are here and wants are here. And so we've got a big gap there. And with our model, we want to achieve the wants. But what does the financial world, financial people do? And you've been through this, financial uh, needs. And who picks the numbers? You do. You tell the advisor what you want. They don't tell you. When we run our model, we see the inputs into the financial world from what you've put into the model as you've done before. And then we put that into the model and we take that information and multiply it. And we get a geometric progression on it because we're not going to be suffering from all the lost opportunity costs, all the eroding factors. We're going to increase that and plug all those holes in the bucket. But the point is that wants is different than needs. And you were telling me something about at home. What was it?
Well, I was just saying we have a philosophical battle at home where my wife thinks, okay, if we have the money, let's enjoy the money that we have now, as opposed to, like, for example, her brother is investing a lot of money in real estate in Colombia. So he is basically cash poor, is like what we would call it, where she thinks that's a bad idea. Where I like that idea in that he's setting himself up for the future, because when he turns 65 or when I turn 65, I don't want to continue doing what I'm doing right now. Where her father is like almost 80 and he's still out washing cars because he never did any planning for the future. And so there's kind of like a philosophical battle in our own little home about what to do with our money.
Yeah, and living for the moment is another problem because you see it come in and you live for the moment and then it's gone. And so, but if you're living for the moment based on your wants, you really are at baseline. And see what happens when you focus on your wants and the rug gets yanked out from underneath you, you're in trouble. And that's the problem that people are in right now. And all these financial planners and financial advisors out there are running around telling people that they want to follow their financial needs, and now they're in trouble. A lot of people are outliving their wealth. They're still greeting in Walmart, and like you said, washing cars. They're outliving their wealth. So what your brother-in-law is doing is he's taking a piece of today and focusing it on tomorrow. And that's a great idea. But when you focus on wants, wants are a big different than needs. Needs, again, I go back to baseline. There's a pyramid in psychology, Maslow's pyramid. It's a hierarchy of the species. And animals are right up there with humans, but animals need to eat to survive. And they eat out of a bowl on the floor. But humans are wanting creatures. They want to eat in nice restaurants. They want ambiance. They want candles. They want all sorts of nice things. They want. So why does the financial world run around asking for their financial needs when they should be asking for financial wants? But they're not programmed to handle that. They don't know how to do it. So they will end up talking about financial needs analysis and putting people at a meager existence. And as I said earlier, if the rug gets yanked out from underneath you, you're in trouble. And you and I both have been there. And I mean, I've been there and years ago. And so we've seen that. So our focus should be on wants. So when you see these guys talking about financial needs analysis, what what is the motivation behind that? Just to get numbers out of the person? I don't know what the motivation is. Do you?
I think it also has to do with like making people uncomfortable, and so then um, they want to do more. I don't know, but if it's always just baseline, then I see your point as well.
Yeah, I mean, um, so I guess you could live for the moment, but take a piece for the future, like your
Yeah,
brother-in-law is doing.
yeah,
But we don't want to fall prey to financial needs analysis. It's a bad term. A lot of people have been hurt by it. And look what happens when if the market tanks and all these people are in the market and they're focusing on their needs, they got no backup. And so we want to make sure we got backup, and that backup has to be uh, like a sinking fund, because our wants are driving that backup. Our wants are up here, and our wants want our we want our want we want our wants to be the driving force in our life instead of needs. But yet, for the life of me, financial people go out and they focus on financial needs, and they people give them the numbers.
yeah,
I mean, we'll take the numbers, we put them in the model, and remember, in other shows, and you've probably listened to these, I've talked about holes in the bucket, where you've
yeah,
got all these holes that are in the bucket, and you are constantly plugging them. Well, when you have all these holes in the bucket, and you put water into the bucket, the water leaks out. You know how much force you need to push behind that water to maintain a level. And that's our life. We know how much money we need to put in a bucket to maintain a lifestyle. And if we want a better lifestyle, we have to put more in. And that's the logic. We got to keep putting more water into that bucket, more money into the bucket. And we say, no, no, no. We want to patch the holes in the bucket. Because when you patch the holes in the bucket, a trickle fills it. So if you get rid of all these holes in the bucket, you don't have to worry about the you don't have to worry about the losses. And if you keep making the same income that you're putting in that bucket and you got no holes in it, the bucket flows over. That makes sense? That visual work?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I need my cup to run it over.
That's right. So I wanted to share this with folks, and with your permission, I'm going to run this on our show,
Sure.
and have a clip so that people understand the difference between needs and wants. And so thank you for participating, and don't go anywhere. I'm just going to turn it off. Okay, this is a continuation of the needs versus wants program. What were you saying, Joe, about when you did your needs analysis?
So when I did this needs analysis with a company, they came up with a theory that I needed $1.3 million to be saved before I reached 65 in order for me to continue to have the lifestyle that I have right now. So the theory is that with $1.3 million, I'd be able to draw like $50,000 income off of the interest. And so that was taking the base need of what I need to live now and continue it on after I retire.
Okay, but that's based on needs analysis, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what they did was they gave you a baseline of how much?
1.3 million.
1.3 million. That's still based on the needs, right?
Yeah.
So did they talk about all the eroding factors running up to that 1.3 million?
No, it's just kind of like it's just information. And then to me, it's like saying it could be 1.3 million or 10 million. The number is so far-fetched that in the next 15 years, I have no concept of making $1 million.
Right. But they give you that number and they ignore all the eroding factors.
Right.
Unbelievable. So you're sitting there and you got 1.3 million in your head and you're going, I don't even make close to that now, and your head just explodes. Because it's like defeated before you start, right?
Right. Not only that, then I have to think about how am I going to put my 2 daughters through college and marriage and whatever. It's overwhelming.
And son.
And son.
You don't think he's going to get married?
Well, I don't have to pay for his wedding.
Right. Yeah, so it's crazy stuff. That's why our process is so valuable, because we take those numbers and we look at all the holes in that bucket and we plug them up. And then you take the excess and you keep redoing it. Keep putting it into the model, and it just becomes it becomes an explosion of wealth. But how do I get people to see that?
Exactly.
That's hard, and our job is to try to get people to see that, and and that's why we do our shows, and that's why we do our we talk with clients and we show them all the bells and whistles and information and everything. And that client that we're talking about wants to see results before we do it, and it doesn't happen. You've got to sign up to the process. What is Marcus Lemonis for? Who's that guy? The Prophet that says trust the process. People, process, and product. It's the process where it breaks down. We get the people, we got the products, because products is the wealth creation. That's and the product is kind of the process. Inside the model is all sorts of stuff, all sorts of different products, but that's not what we're focusing. We're focusing on the process. As we learned, we're talking about financial wants and financial needs. So to recap it, when you focus on your needs, you're focused on baseline existence, which is what we talked about in that dialogue back and forth. And when you focus on your wants, it's a big difference. If I ask you what your needs are, you're going to focus on just getting by. If I ask you what your wants are, you're going to focus on crazy stuff, wants and dreams. I mean, our brains just are fertile with that. And so I hope you understand the difference between wants and dreams. And we may dig deeper into that, because it's a big flaw in the financial world that costs a lot of people a lot of money. And we'll talk about it a little further as far as the cost and why it's so devastating financially. But I want to thank you all for listening and coming and downloading financialfreedomradio.com. And we'll catch you back here next week, financialfreedomradio.com. Take care. God bless.
Thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe to the podcast. If you want to learn how to create real sustainable wealth like the extremely rich people do, or maybe you just want to sustain the wealth you already have, you need to check out Dr. Ray's new book, Why the Rich Are Rich. Ray's been coaching clients for 35 years and has completely unlocked the secret strategies that rich people use day in and day out to grow and sustain their wealth, regardless of what's going on in the economy. His book is completely free, and you can get it by going to whythericharerich.com and entering your email address. Again, that's whythericharerich.com. Head over there now.